ニューヨークメッツ本拠地シティフィールドで行われたドジャース対メッツの NLCS 第4戦ですが、大谷翔平選手の先頭打者ホームランを皮切りに打線が爆発し、ドジャースが10対2で大勝しました。ドジャース先発は山本由伸投手で、4回3分の1を73球、被安打4、奪三振8、失点にとまずまずの投球内容で勝利に貢献。大谷選手も先頭打者ホームランで勝利に貢献。ホームランの後はなかなか勝負してもらえず3四球となっていました。しかしこのフォアボールで燃えたのがムーキー・ベッツ選手で、ホームランを含む6打数4安打4打点の大活躍。大谷ベッツコンビで7得点を挙げるという驚異的な攻撃力を見せつけ、メッツを圧倒しました。昨日までランナーがいないと打てないと言われていた大谷選手でしたが、今日は先頭打者ホームランを放ち、同僚のマックス・マンシー選手にもいじられていました。今日はドジャースの大勝に関する放送の内容を翻訳してお届けいたします。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地放送局の様子を翻訳してお届けいたします。お見逃しのないよう今のうちにチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
Hello, welcome to Access Sportsnet. Dodgers, John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr., Oral Hershiser. The Dodgers are one win away from heading back to the World Series for the first time in 4 years. Second straight rout for them at Citi Field in New York over the Mets. They put up 10 runs tonight. They've scored 30 runs in the first 4 games. That is the most in Dodgers postseason history through the first 4 games of a postseason series. Shohei Ohtani started with a homer, scored 4 runs in this game. Mookie Betts had 4 hits. Jerry homered as well, scored 3 runs from top to bottom. Just a great effort.
They knocked out their best pitcher, especially the second half. I mean, the bats, the quality of the bats really 1 through 9 was outstanding, grinding out at bats, passing the baton. And when they do that, have a lot of traffic on the field, they create chaos and a lot of runs scored. Great job by the offense. Outstanding job from the pitching side.
Yeah. Both halves of the team played very well. They didn't overuse the bullpen. Yamamoto did his job. He was back on his game, and they're 1 win away from going to the World Series. But their mindset has to be just win 1 more game.
And Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, table setters, they're MVPs. Those 2 guys are all at the top of the order tonight for the Dodgers. What we saw from them just getting on base. They scored 7 runs between the 2 of them. Mookie, a triple shy of a cycle. It was just incredible to watch those 2.
Yeah, the Guardians, the Mets, the Yankees are in trouble because these 2 are hot, and they could stay hot for a long time. You don't know how many games the Dodgers are going to play the rest of the way, but these 2 look locked in. They don't look like they're going to fall apart. And the rest of the lineup behind them, without Freddie Freeman tonight, doing the job. Tommy Edmonds has a multi-hit game. Kike Hernandez again has a multi-hit game, and a whole bunch of other guys. As far as the starters, 7 of the 9 starters all get hits.
You know what the great thing about it is, we talked about on the pregame show, in order to get Q, the starting pitcher for the Mets, who's done an incredible job, you have to get him on the plate. We saw what he did against the Brewers, what he did against the Phillies. He got them to chase out of the zone. Dodgers were not chasing out of zone. He had to come over that plate. Dodgers were able to put some runs on the board. And then led by, we talked about Shohei Ohtani. How about Mookie Betts? Outstanding at bats once again. Here, 1-0 pitch. This ball's on the plate. Able to barrel it up. Another pitch. They walk Ohtani. One of the very first pitches you see is a rocket down the left field corner, 2 RBIs. How about a breaking ball, center cut, and Mookie, can't you see? All of them swings tonight hypnotized me. Outstanding at bats all night long from superstar Mookie Betts.
Yeah, Dodger offense was more consistent with not chasing, getting the ball up, hitting the soft stuff, and knowing that he's going to pitch a little bit backwards. He tried to use his fastball at times. And then, you know, when the Mets started to look like they were going to come back, they did the same thing. They were laying off the split. They were laying off the slider, but Yamamoto got back in the strike zone and shut him down.
Or you were saying earlier, Mookie Betts is hot. It's bad news for the rest of Major League Baseball if he's going to swing the bat like this the rest of October.
Yeah, and he's hitting it to the pull side, and he's hitting it to the opposite field. His last at bat, he didn't get greedy. His last hit, line drive to right field. That is a bad sign.
Listen, we all love the home runs. We love the rocket in the corner. You just made a great point. Lefty, it's a little bit down. He hits a rope the other way. You know what the other dugout's saying? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Seriously, because when he's hitting the ball the other way on a line, that means he's not getting greedy, taking what the pitcher is giving him and squaring everything up. That's fun to watch.
It was a bit of a different looking lineup for the Dodgers tonight. Freddie Freeman was not in there, and you had guys that had been the bottom third of the lineup with Tommy Edman. Kike Hernandez moved up to that 4-hole and the 5-hole tonight, and Jerry, both of those guys came through in a big way as well.
We've been saying it really all postseason long. It doesn't matter where you hit in the order in the postseason. Just continue having great at-bats. Sure, would we love to hit fourth all the time? Of course, Tommy would. But he doesn't change his approach. Here, two-strike approach right there. Shorten up, put the ball in play in the gap. Huge RBI double. Now we start to roll. Outstanding job staying on this pitch. Breaking ball center cut. Gets the barrel out front, but able to keep it fair. Outstanding swing, great pad path. But again, remember, the reason why he's in the 4-hole, yes, we know he rakes from the right side, okay? But he also is a contact guy. And Kike Hernandez, doesn't matter, you hit him leadoff, third, fifth, ninth. I just want to be in the lineup. I'm going to produce. He's done producing so many times in the postseason.
You know, you say an offense is firing on all cylinders, and how you're firing on all cylinders is when you're passing the baton and you're forcing the opposing pitchers to throw you strikes, and then when they do, you barrel it up. And that's what this whole Dodger offense is doing. Teo doesn't get any hits today. Paz doesn't get any hits today, but everybody else contributed, and those guys had solid at-bats too.
Ron Renicky was my manager with the Brewers. He's one of the advanced guys here with the Dodgers. Does a great job. He came to a couple of us. Hey, I'm gonna have you in the lineup here or there. Bro, we don't care. Put us in the lineup, 2nd, 7th, 9th. We don't care. All we care about is winning. And I tell you what, this Dodger team, same thing. There is no ego. They're checking their ego at the door. All they care about is wins. That is great to see.
Well, it makes it easier to pitch when you get this kind of run support. Yoshinobu Yamamoto got the start in this game. Oral, he didn't make it through 5 innings. Dave Roberts pulled him out after 73 pitches. A couple of high-stress innings, but he also got a lot of swing and miss in this game.
He did. He had 5 strikeouts through the first 2 innings in that solo shot. There was a little blemish, but big deal. He was making his pitches. You know, when he's up, he's hittable. But when he's at the knees, and then at the knees and below with the breaking stuff, you see the reach from the swing. But they have to start the bat because it's the fastball command that sets up all these windows for the slider and for the split. And he is locked in the same way he was in the outing in the do-or-die game in Game 5. This was Yamamoto at his best. Would they push him farther? Yeah, but the stakes are so high. Walker Buehler was throwing the ball really well, got taken out. Yamamoto was throwing the ball well, got taken out. But you know what? You've got an amazing bullpen that's very hot behind him. So Dave Roberts makes the move.
You got an amazing bullpen that's hot and it's rested. So these guys were rested. Evan Phillips was extended tonight. But again, Yamamoto threw the ball well. There were some stressful innings. And we also have to think we got to make sure we protect Yamamoto. Remember, he missed a lot of time this season, so you got to make sure, hey, we're looking beyond this series. We're looking at the World Series to make sure he continues to be fresh. And why not go to the bullpen? Now, if we had scored maybe 7 or 8 runs and it was an 8-2 lead in the 4th, maybe you let him burn for another inning, maybe 2. But at this point, he was max effort for 4 innings. Get Evan Phillips in, who hasn't pitched in a while, and he was outstanding as well. So, hey, great effort by Walker Buehler last night and Yamamoto.
One thing about this Mets team all season long, they have been the comeback team in all of baseball. In fact, they had more comeback wins than anybody else during the regular season. Dodgers put up 2 runs in the top of the 6th to go up 7-2. And all of a sudden, the Mets, you're thinking, oh, gosh, here they come, Jerry. It's going to be one of those comebacks. Load the bases with no outs. Dodgers get out of it.
This was an elite pitch, that 2-strike pitch to Iglesias. Here, we got a little fortunate here. Obviously, Nemo right there is not healthy. You got that. Could have been a sac fly. They don't want to take a gamble with a 5-run deficit. And here, got in on him enough. Great job, Blake Trinan, able to escape the jam. And that was, I believe, the huge moment. If you're the Mets, you got to score, I think, 3 runs that inning. Really get back into it, maybe make it 7-5. You have the bases loaded, nobody out. Get the crowd back in the game. They escaped with no damage done. Outstanding job by the bullpen once again.
Yeah, the Mets coming into this series were the comeback team, and they were the cardiac kids, and they got the long home runs in the late from Lindor. They get it from Alonso. But you know what? All of that scoring happened from the 8th inning on. Well, that wasn't the Dodger bullpen. This is a little different bullpen, and they're facing that bullpen not from the 8th inning on or the 7th inning on. You're facing that bullpen from the 5th inning on. And they're not seeing the same pitcher twice. They are seeing a different guy all the time. They're not getting the rhythm. They're not getting the spin. They're not understanding how they're being pitched to. And so they're in a place where comebacks are going to be very hard.
And here's the thing. We talked about it earlier. It's demoralizing to the defense when they're seeing their pitcher walk. You're seeing the Dodgers grind out at bats. Man, these guys are always on base, scoring runs. it's extra pressure, not only on defense, but as an offense when you get back in the dugout. Hey, man, they're always on base. I have a feeling when they're at 5 runs, 6, they might be scoring 8 or 9 runs because the way the bats they're taking. So you continue, as an offense from the Dodgers, put pressure not only on the defense, but also offensively. Like, man, the Dodgers keep coming, man. They keep coming at us, and that is demoralizing to the Mets.
In the regular season, remember how many games that we would sit here and go, I wish they could continue to score? I wish they would. They're doing it. They're doing it now. 10 runs, 8 runs, 8 runs, 9 runs. The only tight game that we won was the 2-0 game.
They need to do it 5 more times, though.
I know you talked like last offseason about you guys digging into the numbers and kind of seeing like teams that swung freely, you know, in advance. Like, was there a temptation to kind of get away from what you guys do in the regular season at all, approach-wise as a team? And how have you seen just kind of the team-wide approach pay off so far this offseason?
Yeah, you know, there was definitely some talks about it, but I think the biggest thing was understanding, you know, more in depth why that is, and you know, it's being aggressive on balls in the zone, not taking balls in the zone, and you know, not swinging out of the zone. And you know, I think that's just a deeper understanding for us and understanding who we are as a team and what certain pitches we can hit, what pitches we can't hit, and you know, we've had an entire lineup being able to buy into that.
What does it do for you to close them out tomorrow? Ohtani homer to lead off the game.
What?
What does it do for the team to get a leadoff homer for the game from Ohtani?
Yeah, it was huge. You know, I think it was bigger for show. Just getting a hit with no one on base. You know, it's pretty wild numbers, but yeah, it was you know, big start for us. He got a good pitch to hit, didn't miss it, and definitely electrified us.
How big will it be to close them out tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously it'd be huge, but like I said, you know, our mindset is it's a 0 series. You know, we got to go out there and play it the right way and do things the right way, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Mookie, after Ohtani hit that home run to start the game, did you kind of figure, you know, it'd be the type of game where, okay, now they're going to start avoiding him and that you're going to get chances to get good swings?
No, by no means. I just know there was a stretch there for like 2 or 3 at bats. I don't even think he saw a pitch remotely close. Which I understand, but it's going to be tough to just walk them all the time, especially with the lineup and the guys. Freddie didn't even play as well, so you know, we'll see. If they want to continue to do it, then that's okay. You know, I just have to make sure I take care of my job and the guys behind us. That we can only control what we can control.
Come over to the right side, third row on the right, on that end.
Hey, Mookie, can you just talk about the way the offense has been able to work the Mets pitching staff, drawing walks, keeping the line moving, and the consistency that you guys have provided?
I think just following the plan. Our coaches do a really good job in preparing us. And the guys, we all believe in them. We believe in each other. And we know, like I said, whether the plan is right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. It's just at least we follow the plan no matter what. And it's been right so far.
Actually, you said a couple of days ago here that you didn't think you were so much like chasing bad pitches as much as you were just missing pitches in the zone. I was just kind of wondering, in the last couple of days here, what did you do to kind of make sure you wouldn't miss that pitch when it came today?
アプローチは特には変えてないですね。シンプルに今までやってきたことを継続してますし、まあ場面によってまあ多少変える時はありますけど、基本的にはやりたいことは変えないので、それがまあ比較的今日はいい打席が多かったかなと思います。
What have you kind of learned in the postseason, just kind of giving how small sample size are kind of magnified? Obviously, a couple of days ago we were talking about your splits, and then obviously today, you know, leading off the game with a home run.
さっきも言いましたけど、基本的にやることは変わらないので、まあそれが1打席目でも、最後の打席でも基本的にはしっかりと集中して自分でやることに努めたいなとは思ってます。それがスコアリングポジションにランナーがいてもいなくても、まずそこが一番大事かなとは思います。
You've seen how hard Mookie has kind of worked over the last couple of days. What has it been like to see him get a couple of results here tonight?
もうただただ楽しいですね。塁上から常に、状態が良さそうですし、まあ、彼が、まあ、打ったらもう得点する準備を、まあ、僕自身は一塁からでも二塁からでも常にヒットを打ったら、ホームに帰るつもりで、努めたいなと思ってます。
Shohei, you're one win away from the World Series. Is there any anticipation of that? What do you think about getting to that level and playing with other stars in the World Series?
敵地で昨日今日といい野球ができていると思うので、それをまずはしっかりと継続して明日につなげたいですし、明日しっかりとまず決めるという気持ちを持って全員で頑張りたいなと思ってます。
Can you hear me now? Overall, how did you feel out there tonight? And you threw the slider a lot more than usual today. Was that part of the game plan or just kind of a feel thing?
初回から、失点、してしまったんですけど、なんとか最初失点に、抑えれたことは良かったところかなと、思うのと、右打者が、多くいたので、スライダーは多少、多くなりましたけど、とにかくチームが勝てたので、いい投球だったかなと思います。
How much easier does your job get when you're seeing Ohtani kind of lead off the game of a home run and Mookie just piling on later in the game?
なんとかリードを守ろうと、思いながら、投げてましたし、追加点を、取ってもらえたので、多少、気持ちに余裕を持って、投げることができたかなと思います。
I know in the Japan series last year, right, you threw like a 138 pitch complete game. Obviously, this is a much different situation where, the bullpen is kind of ready to come in, fourth inning, fifth inning, pretty early. Does that change kind of your approach in how you pitch and maybe, how you, maybe can you let it out a little bit more?
基本は、とにかく1イニングずつ、抑えるっていうところは、自分の投球の中での基本なので、そこは特に、変わらず、とにかく1イニングに集中して、相手のバッター一人一人に集中して、投げてます。
Whether it's the injuries to the pitchers, Freddie being out, your all-star first baseman, former MVP, it doesn't seem to bother you guys or affect you guys the way it would other teams. Why does this team have such a next man up mentality? Win for Freddie, whatever it may be. Whoever's down, you guys don't skip a beat and you just keep on rolling. Why is that?
I don't know the answer. I think part of it is we've dealt with it all year with very key contributors, and it's a clubhouse that's very welcoming to new players, whether by way of trade, waiver wire pickups, young players that get called up from the system. It's a very focused group, tough group. And it's something that is probably something that I feel proud that we can hang our hat on, that there's never been any excuse all year for our club as far as winning the division and winning 11 games in October. And, even as recent as this year, to not have Freddie start a playoff game, but there was no excuse. We were expecting to win this game tonight. And so, yeah, Michael, it is that next guy up mentality, and the fight that I've seen in these guys, I don't think you can kind of quantify it, but I do believe that, the mindset, the attitude, is applicable and manifests itself into winning baseball games.
We go to Ed in the back row.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Ed.
What are your emotions about how dominant you've been these last two games?
Emotions, probably. I'm still, we still have a lot of work to do. We got to win one more game this series. I love the way that our guys haven't let off the gas in the sense of, I think that, the outcome of the last two games, certainly if you watch the games doesn't tell the story. And so the way we were able to add on the last couple nights has been huge to win a long series. I think we're so right now, I'm still kind of enjoying it a little bit, but I'm already thinking about Peterson tomorrow. So, yeah, we still got some work to do.
Go to Dylan in the front.
Dave, we saw it near the end of the regular season, right? A couple times Ohtani got walked intentionally, the way Mookie kind of responded to that. Today, right, the first 3 hits came out right after Ohtani got walked. How do you think Mookie kind of takes that when he sees, them basically not challenging the guy in front of him?
I think he took it the same way Vientos took it. personal, and that's okay. That's okay. And I think that, you know, he understands whether it's a manager putting four fingers up or, you know, you're throwing intentional balls 2 feet outside, you know, you're going to go after the next guy. And so I think that Mookie takes it personal, like, you know, all competitors should. And I do think that stuff like that lights a little fire under him.
And do you have a starter for tomorrow? And if you do,
Flaherty, Jack's going to start.
How did you kind of get to that?
I think that he gives us the best chance to win tomorrow. And so it's regular. You know, we have our full slew of guys behind him. And, you know, there's a sense of urgency to win this game tomorrow.
Juan.
Dave, after the first 2 games against the Padres, kind of everyone was talking about, you know, what's wrong with Mookie, right? And then after the first 2 games here, what's wrong with Ohtani? Like, how much do you think those guys kind of pay attention to that stuff and kind of motivate themselves?
I think Mookie certainly much more than Shohei. So I think that Mookie getting a couple knocks, but tonight was certainly a breakout. Even the way that he can go backside and hit a line drive to right field, the homer on a breaking ball that he was missing, you know, in past series. So I think that bled into Mookie's psyche a little bit. But I think with Shohei, I don't think much affects him. I really don't.
Come down to this side on the right, Bill.
When you talked to us before the game, you said you were a little unsure about whether Jack would start tomorrow or not. Did you see something in this game that you and the team determined would go with that, or is that just didn't want to say anything till after?
No, we were still kind of deliberating, but after tonight, just talking to the pitching guys, the front office, and Jack, most importantly, we just felt that tomorrow's the day. So he's lined up, and that's kind of, so not really what went into the game.
Okay. And also just, I know it's a little lost with all the offense, but can you speak to the job Phillips and Trinan did at the point they came in?
They did a great job. They did a huge job. And obviously, Evan, you know, there was some traffic there, some stress. Certainly getting out of that 5th inning was huge. That part of the order I felt was a time to deploy him. And then to kind of go back out there created some stress. But for him to get the 2 outs with the bases loaded, for me, I just felt that at that point in time, I think he was up to like 31, 32 pitches. And that's a pivotal part in the game. And so I felt, you know, at that point in time, I think he can still be alive for tomorrow. And I just felt Blake was the best chance to get Winker. And fortunately, you know, he lined out to Mookie. And, yeah, both those guys did a fantastic job. And I think the culture in the pen is they just pick each other up. You know, regardless of when they get the baseball, they're ready when called upon, which is huge.
Go to Andy on the left side.
Hey, Dave, you've been pretty open, you know, in the second half and the postseason, just about how challenging this year has been for yourself, for the guys in the room. I'm just curious, like, knowing all that, how does it feel to be 1 win away from the World Series?
It feels good. I think that we've done a good job putting ourselves in this position. I sort of like the us against the world attitude that our guys are sort of taking on. I think that's kind of ironic, you know, with the Dodgers, but I like that. I haven't enjoyed it yet. I'm not good at enjoying things in the moment. But yeah, once we win 5 more games, then I'll be much happier. But yeah, Andy, I'm very excited to be in this position, and I just want to keep our guys hungry and focused and not let these guys back in the series.
Like, you guys usually are the world.
Right. We usually are. That's fair. We usually are the world.
That wasn't really a question.
That's right.
We'll take 2 more quick ones. Jeff in the front, and then we'll finish up on the back right.
Dave, with the quality of stuff that pitchers are throwing around baseball right now, how difficult is it for hitters to lay off, and how impressive, conversely, is it that yours have been able to draw 32 walks over the first 4 games?
It's remarkable. And leading the way is Max Muncy. I was just made aware that he set a postseason record with consecutive times on base. And yesterday, he didn't swing at 1 ball, 1 pitch out of the hitting zone. Given all the stuff and how, you know, you're seeing different arms and the stuff, the velocity, the spin is so good and late. It's remarkable. I still believe that these players are better than they've ever been, and given, obviously, with information and things like that. You know, today was a good one for us in the sense that, you know, Quintana, he nibbles, and he's a crafty veteran pitcher, and you've got to be really stubborn in your hitting zone. Our hitting coach did a great job. I thought we did a good job using the big part of the field, getting to the pen, taxing them, winning pitches. And, you know, when we get to their pen, we've done the same thing. So we've had a lot of good looks at the guys in their pen. And the one guy we really don't want to see, we haven't seen much of. So to keep him in the pen is a good thing for all of us. But outside of that guy, we've seen everyone else. So I feel good about that. And I think we got Peterson tomorrow. So we've seen him. And, you know, the goal is to, you know, get him out of the game and, you know, make him have a short outing.
No doubt about it. I mean, obviously, you think about that 1-2 punch and Shohei and Mookie. You know, Ohtani scored 4 runs. All right, you think about what they did. How about this? I mean, 5 for 9, couple home runs. Ohtani led off the game for them with a home run, kind of set the tone. 5 RBI, 7 runs scored by the top 2 in that order. And for the Mets, it was really the complete opposite. But they are, you know, something, Alex, something happened, you know, after that Tatis grand slam in San Diego, game 3. They put up 6 runs, 6-5. You're like, oh, man, you know, Padres win that game 6-5. They hang on. And then ever since, the Dodgers have just been a runaway freight train. It's like they woke them up somehow. They've been unstoppable since.
Again, it's upsetting to me, Kevin, how every time the Dodgers are on the verge of losing, Dave Roberts' name comes up about maybe getting fired or whatnot. Let's give Dave Roberts a lot of credit because you need a captain of the ship when things are going a little bit crazy to say, hey, fellas, you know what? One game at a time. Let's keep it loose. Mookie's loose because the captain of the ship is loose, and that name is Dave Roberts.
Yeah, and the Dodgers weren't flustered by that. They're down 2-1, but the thing with the Los Angeles Dodgers, they're not happy being in National League Championship Series. They expect to win a World Series. So when they were down 2, it's just like, hey, it's another game. We need to win tonight. We'll get them tomorrow. Poppy's old phrase. I don't even know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is not today. Is tomorrow. But the point is, they've been here before. Yes, they haven't had the success, but they've been here before, and they're hungry. You can tell when they celebrated after they beat San Diego, everyone was saying in the clubhouse how everyone doubted them, right? Everyone counted them out. Well, they took it personal, and it's showing now.
For people watching at home, I'm going to show you what the unicorn is all about. Let's play that video from Ohtani right here. This is the reason why this guy is a unicorn. Let me tell you, when batters are in a slump, you get a little concerned about your swing. You want to see pitches. You want to take pitches. You want to wait for the perfect pitch to swing the bat. This guy, when he's in a slump, he don't care. He go out there and swing, Kevin. He's not thinking about, okay, let me see a pitch, let me see a strike. I'm going to get out of my slump my way. And that's why this guy is a unicorn, the only one on his way.
You know, Poppy, I was talking to some of my scouts, Jeter, maybe some of the ones you were talking about. And in January, they come out to Dodger Stadium, a group of the guys that live in L.A., and because he wasn't pitching, he spent an extra 3 weeks just working on his legs, on his bottom half, and he wanted to recover his elbow. But as a result, obviously, he said, I'm a much better hitter today because I don't have to worry about pitching. And he's shown that, I mean, he really is. He might be underrated, fellas.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and he's fun to watch. I mean, it's like all eyes are on Shohei Ohtani when he's on the field. He reminds me of when I came up watching Ken Griffey Jr. You take the field, and even if you're competing against him, you stop and you watch him. And Ohtani's the same way. I mean, and he's not pitching. People forget. The guy's one of the best pitchers in baseball as well, and you're not seeing that side of him, but he's focused on offense, and he's trying to do damage. To your point, David, he's not trying to get a hit the other way. He's finding his pitch, and he's trying to do damage, and when he's in the zone like he is now, it's immediate runs for the Dodgers.
You know what's interesting is you see his emotions, and you've seen it throughout October. We saw this kid for many, many years with Anaheim. I never saw that once. So it tells you he loves the experience, and he's good at it. But the home run, Kevin, what's interesting about that is the ramifications of that. He sets the tone. Then the next 3 at-bats, he walks. The Dodgers drew 9 walks today. The challenge with that is instead of facing these guys 3 or 4 times, you end up facing them, you flip the lineup over, you end up facing them 5 and 6 times, like Mookie Betts had 6 at-bats, Ohtani had 6 at-bats.
But you never saw him because he was never in the postseason.
He wasn't winning.
You have to be in this position for someone to see you.
Quick recap of Game 4. Oral Yoshinobu Yamamoto got the start, went 4 1/3, gave up 2 runs, struck out 8.
Struck out a lot of guys early, felt good about himself, and he got a little offensive support that settled him in very, very quickly. But he had the split and the slider working.
Top of the first inning, the big show, Jay Hare.
The big show goes Broadway, fastball center cut, does not miss it, hits it to Broadway. Love the swing. He knew right away, lets the guys know, hey, boys, we're up 1-0.
And Oral, a monster night for Mookie Betts as well, right behind Shohei. 4 hits, including this homer.
If Shohei's on Broadway, Mookie was not on off-Broadway. He was on Broadway also. 2 superstars shining in New York, and they had Dodger uniforms on.
Certainly did. The Dodgers take Game 4, 10-2, the final. It's going to be a bit of a quicker turnaround now for Game 5 as first pitch at 2 p.m. here on the West Coast on FS1. We will have pregame coverage for you beginning at 1 o'clock on Sportsnet LA. Oral, Jack Flaherty gets the ball. The Dodgers have a chance to get to the World Series.
I hope his mother is there in New York because I want to see another hug after the game, after a great game from Jack Flaherty, carry them to the World Series.
And our mindset, not just my mindset, our mindset is making sure, hey, we got our ace on the mound. I don't care what game it is. He's on the mound, get him runs early. He has proven that he can pitch with the lead. You know the Mets are going to be coming out, firing on all cylinders, just trying to get one game in New York, protect their home field. But again, Dodgers, make sure early and often, continue doing what you've been doing.
We talked back at spring training, even at FanFest, the potential of this Dodgers team. They have been an absolute machine so far here in this NLCS, outscoring the Mets 30 tonight. A chance to wrap up the National League pennant tomorrow. For Jerry, Oral, and Kirsten, I'm John. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, pregame, 1 o'clock, right here. Big Christmas.
マンシー選手にいじられてる姿ちょっと面白かったですね。レジェンドたちも現地報道も大谷選手に対する手のひらの角度をどう向けたらいいのかわからなくなっている様子の質問や回答に思わず笑ってしまいました。山本由伸投手もゾーンを広く使い、厳しいコースに投げ込み、2回までに5奪三振とここを1番を踏ん張る素晴らしい投球だったと思います。それにしてもベッツ選手の爆発っぷりがすごいですね。ディビジョンステージ序盤の打てないベッツ選手の影はもうどこにもありません。大谷選手にもホームランが出始めいよいよ手がつけられない1、2番コンビに明日も注目していきましょう。皆さんは明日でドジャースがワールドシリーズ進出を決めるか、それともロサンゼルスまで勝負は持ち越されるかどちらだと思いますか。ぜひコメント欄で教えてくださいね。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。